So in this video, I want to show you how to filter your data. So maybe we only want the records in our table where a certain field is equal to a certain value. For example, we have our bike share stations data set here, this table, and we can preview it like such. And we notice that a good bit of these stations are actually closed. You know, they're not active, they're not accepting, they don't have any new bikes, you can't pick up or return anything there. And so for whatever reason, maybe for our analysis, we only want the ones that are not closed or active. So here, I just want the name, station ID, and status of the stations where the status is not equal to closed. So here, I'm going to uncomment this. Here I have status field not equal to closed, a string. So the status field is a string. You can go back to the schema here and see that status is a string type. And so if I run this, I'm going to get back all the stations where the status is active, not equal to closed, because there's only two statuses here. So that's one way to get all the active stations, and I'm selecting only a subset of the columns. Here, this is another way to get the same thing. I'm just going to select all the stations where the status is equal to active, and I only want these columns. And so there you go, I got all the active ones. So it seems like 78 out of the, go over here, 102. 78 out of the 102 are active. And so you can also do this on other fields, and you can use different comparison operators. Here we just use the equal and not equal, but we have less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, all that. Here in the bike share trips data set, this is all the data for the trips. What I really want to find is I want to find those that have a duration that was longer than 2 hours. All the trips are in this comment says 3. Not true. All the trips are in minutes, and so I want to see what are those trips where the duration was longer than 2 hours. So this person kept it longer than 2 hours. And I want the trip ID, the time it started, the type of subscriber, the type of bike, and then obviously the duration minutes. You have to include this field to be able to use it in the where clause here. And so I'm going to run this. May take a second, and here we go. So these are all the trips where the duration is longer than 120 minutes. We have 54,156 out of 2 million. And so a small percentage of them were actually longer than 2 hours. And so that's how you filter data. You use the where clause. You can use comparison operators. And so essentially you read that it's actually very readable. Just select these columns from this data set where I want all the records where the duration minutes is greater than 120. It's very readable, and this is how you filter data in SQL.